I don't want to mix with the CS kids.
You don't?
Radiant team back.
They like memes too. Filth. Just kidding.
Why are they filth?
Huh? They have a button where they point it, and then the character goes and looks at how pretty their gun is. Kill me.
You've got an. You
and
can
we
customize.
have a button that you press on Shadow Fiend where he does the high. Yeah, that's hype.
You can have a Super Mario motion on Zeus.
Yeah,
you know?
But it's third person. I don't have a button where I take a look at my beautiful purple unicorn gun.
The moment you guys have all been waiting for us to finally shut up over to the war room. Thank you.
Yeah, what up?
You guys are putting us to sleep over here.
Hey, take it easy.
What a load of rubbish, eh? Back to the good stuff. We got Dota 2 going on. Dark's here. You put it out. It's not been banned yet, Fog.
Vega's got it. The Vega's taking
it. You think it's going to be there?
There's going to be like Slaughter, Darkseer, Disruptor, Darkseer, probably one of the two. I'll grab Slaughter. Let's see.
Let's have a look. I mean, I think if you were going to put your money anywhere, that is the safest place to put it with those two heroes. Darkseer, Slaughter.
We'll see.
At least one of them you would certainly expect here against Elements.
There's a Legion Commander's bag.
Oh, hey! Wow. Okay.
One of them's not here.
We would not have said the. I mean, we certainly could have considered Clock for Vega, but in the first couple of picks, very.
Sayama has been playing it pretty damn well. That guy's actually been a beast lately on his rotations.
Yeah.
So I think if anyone's going to play it really well, it's going to be him.
Well, we'll keep the Darkseer there for now. As you said, it could still come up as the second one.
All right, take your bets, people. Shadow Fiend ban or pick?
I think they might just grab it here.
Yeah. Come on, Vega. Oh, the Crystal Maiden.
We'll keep the Darkseer there just in case. We'll keep the Darkseer there just in case. It'll happen. Just in case, but let's get CM out. We'll CM Clock. Or pretty strong. Indeed, just it's going to enable Sherman to get a lot done with the mana.
All right, so we'll hold the ones that we're gonna expect.
I'm actually pretty concerned already for Elements because Warlock. I'm not kidding around.
Jesus, Lax, take it easy.
They've only got one hero so far.
I understand, but we know that Warlock's big weakness is like the time in between his ult, right? Yeah. You have to play around that, and what we saw from the 2 games earlier, there's a lot of aggression that was already coming their way. They already have a hero that they have to play around with.
Warlock is a fine open.
Take Ember again.
Partially because he's so strong in lane. Like
he
he's
is
a very,
strong
very good lane support.
Sure.
So that when you put it together with the ulti is really good.
I know. But from the last series we saw that they didn't have the power to keep alive before 20 minutes if they have a lot of pressure coming their way. Warlock's not the hero you pick to make sure that that could happen.
It still is a very strong first 2 opener, right? It
Yes.
doesn't show like a crazy amount of anything. I mean, the top teams have been doing it for a long time. It's Kiev and everything, so it's not too unexpected to see Warlock. They go for the Ember, so Elements doesn't seem too dissuaded from their losses versus Liquid. They're still just sticking with their comfort zone.
Yeah, right, all right.
Did Vega just win or lose?
Seconds remaining.
I don't know actually. What was the score? Do we know?
I think that they just had won.
So.
Reserve time.
I think Vega.
It was looking really good. I saw it at the game.
Vega won. The game was starting to explode. It was like the 70-minute mark, and there's a dark side enemy team, and like literally the fireballs were starting to appear on the map.
Hype. I love those.
Sometimes.
I'm so happy they kept that in the game.
Intentional.
Yeah, they could have removed it.
Totally intentional.
So interesting to me here. First of all, Crystal Maiden is a hero that Sioma has played in the past. What I'm going to get at here is, could Clockwork be your offlaner here? Because
it still could be.
You open Clock CM and you actually ban an offlaner in the mag. It's a little bit atypical for them.
Yeah. It could be, but it's just what we've been seeing it more on Shoma than on that offlane.
Yeah. So they go for the Ursa.
I'll get that out.
I think this is Shadow Fiend banned, by the way. Jake.
Yeah.
Shadow Fiend ban?
Shadow Fiend banned.
Called it.
So I think the Ursa. This could still be Vega putting it mid.
Yes.
However, I am going to put it in the safe lane for now, before we get some more information. But yeah, they have
I think you're right. They are going to want it. They want it.
I think they're going to match it versus the Ember.
I think you're right.
I think that is a high possibility. And now Element's going for this I think is probably LeBron's hero, that active playmaking kind of support, and that's what his role is. He likes to just run around and try to make stuff happen, so I'm going to put that one on him.
And I actually really like that. This is a much better draft already, I think, coming out of Elements than either of the ones against Liquid, because they've recognized now Vega's given you a lot of information. They don't have a lot of AoE team fight in the first 3, now 4 picks, and you've gone very, very strong in that direction.
Bye-bye, Darkseer.
I mean, we could still see it for these guys, of course, Elements. They could still fit Darkseer on their offlane. But yeah, for Vega at least.
Oh my God.
Just like you said, Helen, they are really going all in on their team fight, actually.
Oh, no. Listen, for the first time ever, Alan, I got to disagree with you. I feel...
First time ever.
Well, first legitimate time. I mean, Elements has to have a lot of team fight, that's great, but then they still have to have a good team fight scenario. And look at Vega Squadron's heroes. They all love to be getting pickoffs. They like to be far away until, like, kind of later in the game. I mean, any one of those heroes can blow up any of the other heroes from Elements. Team fights are great, but when the team's never together, what's the point of it?
If Elements win the lanes with these 4 heroes and group up, all that pickoff potential is... It's not completely neutralized, but you're going to initiate into this?
If there's a team fight, if there's a team fight on the next assassin, he spikes carapace, everything stop. If there's something on the other side, he just presses R and he can walk away. Clockwork can just hook shot away or cogs and nobody can get to him. The only one that's squishy is obviously Crystal Maiden, but if they all jump on the Crystal Maiden, that means that somewhere else Ursa is doing his thing.
Elements damage is highly ulti reliant, but they do have a lot of lockdown coming between these picks, and I mean their defense for their tier 1s are there. So that's, I guess that's what kind of they're getting at from the games that they played versus Liquid. They want to be able to contest those early objectives because right here, this looks like they're fighting into Roche. They've got Sanking, they've got Enigma, they've got Ember, they've Warlock. That's really tough for them to kind of get Roche for Vega and to claim tier 1s. These 4 heroes can definitely fight as soon as they get their 6s online.
And so now we need a swift ending hero coming out as a 5th pick for Elements. Again, you talk about the PL, you talk about the Slark.
Slark banned.
I can't see the bans, unfortunately, that well.
Jug's still in the pool.
I was going to say
Juggernaut's safe.
Yeah, I was going to say that the Slark would obviously fit, but yeah, Vega banning it out. I think that the Slark would be like the nice little balance for them to kind of stray a little bit away from that, since so much team fight, they have to have something to rely on later on.
I love Element's last ban. My God, would a silencer just be here in this game.
That would have been so legit.
I mean, hell, you could go carry Rubik in this game. Look at all those damn ults. You could just turn that whole thing around. But what about Wraith King? Is that something that they can consider? I know Wraith King is the go-to for the big team fights. Just survive, right?
Yeah, the Wraith King thing works really well when you have like a 1 Doom or a... Oh, you were talking about for Elements, could they go Wraith King?
Yeah.
Okay. Nah.
Respect. Too many S heroes.
Okay. Another big ulti hero.
Well, I guess I can make sense of their draft a little more, right? I mean, now you have 4 space-creating heroes, one Spectre that just has to ult and can be farming the entire time. So that feels a lot better because now they're working towards something instead of just assuming that they have to win team fights. Even if Elements loses team fights, if Spectre's still farming, then they're okay.
Well, and it's not just that, right? It's that any one of these, anytime there's a big ult, right, the Spectre's instantly there to get in on the kill.
Right. And that's cool, too. I mean, as long as one guy gets a good ult, then 3 or 4 other people are going to be able to get fantastic damage. And anti-mage.
So it is the mid-Ursa trying to match up with the Ember.
I kind of figured that might happen. So I think they're trying to match greed with greed.
Yep.
And I think Element's lineup is extremely greedy, while Vega at least has some like early aggression they can get out of it. So,
all right, you can talk more about that during your casts. It's time for us to decide who we think has the upper hand in this particular draft. Is it going to be team fights? Is it going to be pickoffs? That's basically the question.
I actually thought that the last pick AM was a little bit too greedy by Vega. I thought that they could have punished Element's lineup pretty easily from that standpoint. I think Vega's the better team, but I'm actually going to go with Elements based on this draft. I think they're going to win their first game.
All right. I feel like Elements I love their draft. It's fantastic because it's psychotic, it's in your face, and it's just a shitload of damage and fun. And I'm not going to win, though. I'm going to go for Vega, for sure.
I'm going to go for Vega as well. We're going to find out. We're going to find out if those team fights are actually going to happen. And if they do, I mean, that will be hype. I would love to see Elements Pro Gaming win. We're going to find out if that's going to happen. Over to our commentators, ODPixel and Fog.
Black Hole!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the second series of the day. Of course, we have the wonderful Vega Squadron this time turning up to play against Elements. We've just seen the 2 drafts. What are we thinking, Fog? So the response at the end of the day from Vega Squadron to slipping the anti-mage, something that's going to be able to scale on par with the Spectre. Do you like that decision to say, all right, we can get a beefy carry as well if we want to do that?
I actually thought I was kind of agreeing with Alan. I thought that they were going to go for some type of like aggro thing and pressure more because they see how greedy that Element's lineup is. But no, they go for the anti-mage. They want to just match that, and they also have the Nyx to kind of work with the anti-mage, obviously with the mana burn, so he can get bigger mana voids later on. And they have some great catch for the Ember Spirit split pushing. I think they just want to have some type of like reserve. You know, they don't want it to rely on Ursa going into the late game. That's a terrible kind of way to expect it. And
yeah, for sure.
They didn't want to rely on just like crushing the lane super hard. So they wanted to have, you know, Aloha to at least have that kind of backup plan.
And do you think, well, because we saw Ursa and Ember being picked up in a game before, didn't we? And I think the Ember actually, it dodged the lane, wasn't it? I think it was when Secret were playing the Ember.
Yeah.
And they took it away from the safe lane. Is it that bad? Do you feel that's going to have to happen again here? Do you see, can Elements switch their lanes around? I guess with a Spectre, it's very hard, really, to... I
think they're locked in their lanes.
Yeah.
I don't think that they can.
They can't. I mean, I guess other than having backup hanging around the mid, but even so, a Warlock and a Zanking, it's not like they're going to be able to do too much to make that mid lane that much easier with the, you know, when they're level 1 as such.
Yeah, I mean, the Zanking can kind of like sit there and maybe like counter gank in a way, but they don't really have like the damage to deal with an Ursa that early. So yeah, I don't know. Elements is gonna have to make some kind of adjustment. They'll just play around the Ember because that is a very, very hard matchup. I mean, Ping he is a good Ember player. That is one of his like most comfortable heroes. So maybe we'll see him do something unexpected versus an Ursa, but that is a dubious task.
Yeah, and the lanes from Vega Squadron should be pretty self-explanatory. I mean, and unlikely for them to aggressive. We have seen teams in the past go aggressive with a Spectre lane. Is there any chance that Elements could try and go head-to-head with the anti-mage lane? Is that of any benefit for them if they do that and get the 1v1 matchup between the SK and the Clock? SK and the Nyx Assassin.
Or Enigma,
that...
you mean, right?
Sorry, Enigma. Yeah.
I think
Enigma
they're just going to go safe lane. But we are paused, but we should be getting started in a moment. I think that they just kind of leave the lanes as is. At least they're going to be denying a little bit of farm from the anti-mage with the Eidolons. You know, he just always pulls the range creep back and able to jungle and get farm off of that. But I think, yeah, I don't think that they want to put Spectre all the way up there. It makes it awkward to kind of like make the switch around. And Clockwork can actually do a lot of work. I mean, again, I'm looking at Vega and I'm just looking at Sayoma. This guy has been the shining star for this team, in my opinion, in their early game and just causing havoc all over the map.
Yeah, with those with the brown boots straight up, this Enigma is going to try his best to stay in that lane. Is Mitch going to be pretty safe there, or will the CM and Clock cause quite a bit of trouble for him?
I think this is just the new build on Enigma.
You just
like S4 was doing a lot. You rush your arcane boots really quickly from the jungle. You don't go the Soul Ring build anymore, and you're able to kind of like survive if they do kind of like rotate on you. It's just the new approach that people are doing. Arcane boots is so good for your team.
Let's see what coming out here. D lanes, as expected. Sides. A lot of pressure will be on Ping in that middle lane to try and come out as best he can with the Ember Spirit up against G. It's not going to be an easy ordeal at all.
Yeah. I don't know. They have a lot of ways to catch like the Ember Spirit and Spectre when they are on the sides of the map. So that's why I'm really liking Vega's kind of approach in this game. Like Nyx is just such a good pick versus all these kind of heroes. Like these like big comboing heroes. He just clicks Carapace and he can kind of counteract everything, and he can catch everybody split pushing, and then they have the anti-mage to back up on. So we'll see if Elements is able to come out of this laning phase nicely. Looking at LeBron.
I mean, yeah. We'll see what he can get done in terms of the movements.
The catch is very tough too, trying to catch an anti-mage. Of course they have the chains, and then they have Sanking, and then if he does blink, they can have the haunt afterwards to follow the blink. But later on stages, their damage for anti-mage is going to be very minimal to try to bring him down.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, well, with the Nyx and more, there's the Clockwork, the cogs, there's a lot of ways for the side of Vega to disrupt any sort of advances being made by Elements. Overall, it's going to be a game where it feels unlikely that we're going to see Mitch get some black holes off us. There's just so many ways that Vega can put a stop to it.
Yeah, and they're not going to like take up, unless they come out really super hard in the laning phase, they're not going to try to take these like straight up big 5v5 team fights. I mean, who would want to versus Sanking, Enigma, Warlock? They're going to just try to split them up, make them use the ultimates at the not as beneficial scenarios. Maybe like one hero or something along those lines. LeBron just going to try to mirror Sayoma's movement. And we're just trying to leech experience from that Enigma. LeBron gets eyes on him.
We're starting to hit into each other, but of course Shoma, the battery assault, will cause LeBron to have to get himself away. The superior damage output here at level 1.
Forcing them XP split 3 ways, blocks the hard camp as well. Mitch's jungle will be slowed down.
We'll see how both of our safe laners do with the pressure that each one's trying to go for. Giving this lane to LeBron, as you touch upon. I mean, a low hard dance should still feel pretty safe up here, shouldn't it? It's very hard for Elements to do much about this AM.
Yeah, he should full free farm up there. I mean, the reduced couple CS from the idle undenies, but other than that, yeah, anti-mage should be just fine in here. And that being said, though, Sanking goes for the caustic level 1, and he's actually able to pressure a bit.
Okay.
Just get some decent harass, but Aloha does have a lot of regen.
Busan goes left and a south.
Good approach though by Elements. This is actually very good, having the Sanking here. It definitely messes with anti-mage in the first few levels. Caustic applying every single time. Silent just jungling. Seoma still just trying to be annoying. Now he's gonna have to return to the lane with Silent. This could be where they try to make a play. They are only level 2 though. On the CM.
Edging towards the mid lane as well. CS there at the moment, 13 for 5 against a 7 for 0, so that definite lead for the Ursa as expected. Up between the two of them, G. The edge up top, LeBron. Yeah, coming in close, but yeah, with presence of Silent, just holding him back with the frostbite.
Oh man, Ping is in such a scary spot right now. His lane is completely messed up. Look at the positioning. G has it all the way on his high ground, and Seoma's sitting around in the area too. He's just getting every single deny and last hit for G.
Yeah, proving to be very, very tough lanes here at the moment for Elements.
Yeah, even Afterlife should have a pretty good time down here. Like Spectre, Warlock, they can't really zone Nyx out. He's got the poor man's shield. He even picks up a Quelling Blade to help himself last hit under tower. And then an Arcane Aura so he can spam his spells a little bit harder.
Just seeing there the Ursa, G. Those stacks up bottom lane. Swift. Put up by the Shadow Word. So as you mentioned, very hard for the two of them to really hurt that Nyx Assassin too much.
You can see what Elements is trying to go for though. They're trying to trade and pressure.
Oh, is he gonna
getting chased down, but
yeah, those chains.
Chains.
Very scary lane for Ping.
Yeah.
With the levels down there at level 4, nearly level 5.
So Elements is trying to slow down the anti-mage mostly though, with LeBron's movement so far. Instead of like sitting around mid, instead of following Seoma so much, he's just like, alright, I'm just gonna kind of perch up and be like this pseudo offlaner in a way and try to pressure the anti-mage. And I know Clockwork's running around and I know CM's just gonna be jungling, but speaking of that, we do have the first smoke of the game coming out from Vega. The CM and the Clockwork pair up and they're gonna look for their first frag, try to secure anti-mage's lane.
Alright, good wrap around on Mitch could certainly do it. Still just level 1 on the Clockwork though. And with Eidolons, a lot of ways to tank up those battery assault hits. They're going to make a good attempt for it though. Here we go, leading with the first slow into the frostbite, and with the damage coming through from a low hard dance.
He wants the last hit.
He does. He wanted that. He wanted that bounty, and he'll find it. A low hard dance first blood, bringing down Mitch in that off-lane position. Actually charging in as well, forcing LeBron to back. Quite have the damage for it. TP back will be there from Mitch. Very, very good start here for the anti-mage, for Aloha. Mid lane continues. Really the struggle of the Ember against this Ursa. Once G has those face boots as well, it'll be very hard for Ping to stay in lane.
Yeah, he's just going to have to go jungle, and he already starts to. Bottom lane Spectre is full free farming as kind of expected, but Nyx is getting great levels and great last hits. He's got 22, he's got his raindrop finished up, almost level 5. So Empire, I see Afterlife and I think Empire still, but...
Oh, for sure.
Vega coming out to a pretty good start in this one after the first couple 5 minutes. Here we go, first rotation. Another rotation coming out from Seoma, making his way toward bottom. He's trying to look for Goji. They know that Afterlife's getting good levels. He's trying to steal the bounty runes too. He's level 3, so he's got that level 2 battery assault for that high burst damage, or high increased damage at least from that.
Yep.
And
he's going to walk in and go for swift turning here. They've got the stun to follow through with the battery, so it's going to be quite a bit of damage. Not quite enough. Potential turnaround. Yeah, they'll just turn on Shoma. And a big kill found there. They do miss the stun from LeBron, so they won't catch out Afterlife. The Elements getting their first kill on the board, punishing Shoma the Slayer. Has just got a little too over-aggressive there, and I guess just underestimated how much damage the Spectre could turn and dish out back to him.
Yeah, Afterlife wasn't able to get closer because of Cogs, so the Desolate damage actually just started building up onto Seoma mid lane. They do get the gank onto Pingvik, and he should be dead here. Nice and easy. Good rotation coming out from Silent.
Any sort of +1 there with the Ursa, making it
Seoma trying to chase Goji. Goji running away though. LeBron now hasted, making his move.
Could look to punish Shoma again. Have the mana on LeBron. Straight in they go. And Shoma could certainly be in trouble here. Talked about this man before, saying he's been having some very good games. This one doesn't look to start off to beat one. Oh, unless they keep him alive like that. He's still surged up, and the caustic will pop him. So he does get taken down. But yeah, second time for him. Not as fortunate, not as great as movements that we've seen from Shoma in previous series here at DreamLeague. He's struggling a little bit today.
And not finding as crisp rotations, but being a little bit deep there for the Warlock and not having any vision of the Sanking.
Yeah, maybe not expecting the Sanking to have a haste in as well. Yeah, for sure. To chase him down like that. Now finish for SK. 5, the mid lane.
Ooh, Afterlife goes treads on Nyx.
Oh, that is... Yeah, well, what's the reasoning there?
CM aura, I guess.
Yeah.
And,
okay.
Yeah, he just wants to be able to put his own pressure and stay in the lane. He's a guy, they can't really push me out of lane. So if I just get tankier, I can actually put more pressure on this lane. So I do like that approach by him.
Interesting.
Like Warlock Spectre can't really push a Nyx out. And he's level 6 already even. And now he's going to make the first rotation. Vendetta ready and online.
Where's he heading?
Looks like he's going toward mid. There is a sentry down already. They do see it though.
Oh no, it's just out of range.
Oh, it's just out of range.
It's just out of range, so ping should be fine here.
It really is. Oh,
it's literally just on the edge.
So unfortunate.
Yeah,
for
those
Vega.
sentries. Yeah, ping not to be caught out by that Vendetta, and then that's always pretty big for slowing down, line up with the Nyx Assassin. If you can avoid that first Vendetta movement, it really puts a slowdown on the Shoma again, constantly securing this rune. Last time it did cost him his life. This time it looks to be a little easier for him to get away. No penalty.
Seoma would be a player to have the question mark denies.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Enjoys his high-level compendium. Well, he had to be quite. It's like 300 or something,
305,
isn't it?
305, 300 something. Yeah, something like all those lines. G trying to make another quick rotation toward top to secure that tower for Aloha, but it is spotted from the good defensive wards coming out from Elements. And now with Afterlife just constantly moving around, it leaves the bottom lane opened up for Seoma to get his level. Since his rotations, as we mentioned, have not been the most successful this game, he needs a place to recover.
It really does, and he should certainly get it down here. Unlikely that the two of them on Elements are able to move in for a kill. And of course, Horn is there for Swift Ending, so if Elements can find any action elsewhere, he'll be quick to join. Afterlife, though, again with the Vendetta, after making that a little bit of a trip around the map and unable to find any success, we'll head back towards the bottom lane. Shoma, I said he should be fine, but he comes in again just a little too close, and that's going to be the third death this game on the clock. Shoma giving up all the kills. We'll see if Vega can punish. G looking towards Swift Ending. They have got Afterlife, looking to line up the stun, not messing around with the Vendetta hit, knows that all he needs is the stun to connect for the kill to occur, and they will punish it. So again, even though Shoma goes down, it is better for Vega. They do punish the Spectre. But so yeah, a little suicidal on the clock today.
Yeah, just a bit. Spectre now gets his first earn charge. He's a little bit underleveled as that safe lane Spectre, only 7 on his way toward 8 since Warlock has been sitting there the whole time. Leeching experience, but Mitch still just farming. During all of this, he's very close to that Midas on the Enigma.
Interesting there as well, aim against Spectre only occurred 5 times since the 7 patch. And, does have that superior win rate, only 1 game in it. 3 for 2, favouring the anti-mage pick. Comes to the head-to-head between these two position 1s. Afterlife, eyes on Gogi. We'll go for the opening, and well, with the positioning of Silent, easy pick for them.
Having that Tread's extra attack speed, does a good amount more damage after his Vendetta hit.
Yeah, and yeah, you're absolutely bang on with that aura. There's no need.
Seoma again. Man. He is just a sacrificial lamb this game, it seems.
The 4th death on the clockwork. Seoma.
Caster Curse.
It really is. You talked him up before we came in, and understandably so, considering the other games that Vega have had. But this game, 4 deaths in 10 minutes, and the only man to go down on your side. I mean, it's Vega's still doing very well, but it's just a little unfortunate for him. He's keeping himself behind like that, and if anything, is kind of giving Elements the boost to keep on par with Vega Squadron here in this early game.
Yeah, it's not the earliest laning phase for Clockwork. Like, once he gets 6, his targets are much clearer. Like, he wants to be able to grab like the Warlock in the back or the Enigma and isolate them. But in laning phase, it can be a little bit tough sometimes as, you know, you're a Clockwork support.
Yeah.
Can't always have it go right.
Blink now picked up for G, so he'll be ready to start to...
He's got it already.
Yeah,
okay.
He's gone straight for it 11 minutes in. Phase and Blink.
So that's going to be pretty nice to just help focus down people with the Nyx Assassin.
Yeah, and I think I guess also aware with the team fight of elements that they'll be very prepared to contest a Roshan, so feeling that getting the Blink quicker and being able to kill heroes is better than getting the Vlads first and trying for the Roshan this game.
Yeah.
Under attack.
We'll see what they can do. He's hanging around with Shoma at the moment. Of course, Shoma, as mentioned, just hitting the 6. So they could try and make a movement as the two of them hookshot Cogs and Ursa jumping upon you.
This is nice though for Elements. Like during all this, LeBron has just been farming. He's just perched up in the top lane. He's actually getting pretty close to his Blink Dagger already on the sinking, which is very important for them to have catch in the team fights and contest those dives at the towers swift.
Yeah, this is a
Showing
kill.
For a second.
Should be a dead cert here. Yeah, no way for the Spectre to get himself out of there. TP's coming through. One of them will be cancelled. LeBron, he actually stays and commits for this, and it will cost him his life here. Shoma again. Oh, poor old Clock. Poor old
He was trying so hard to
He was trying so
de-aggro.
hard to live that.
He couldn't de-aggro the tower. He was the closest target on it.
That is an unfortunate golem.
Oh man, G already catching the back line.
Yeah. Getting the Warlock and yeah, a bit of a panic ult there from Gogi. Immediately gets taken down as well, so easy extra 100 gold there for the side. But yeah, at least Shoma's making it look like an even game. 5 to 7.
He's all 5 of the deaths.
All 5 of the deaths.
Poor lad. Yeah, but nice aggressive ward. This is actually a ward that was been out for like the last 6 minutes or so. It's about to be expiring, and they do catch the eyes on Goji as we were mentioning, and then snowballing a couple extra kills. They even almost claimed that tier 2 tower very early on, which is pretty important actually, because then it gives Aloha a lot more access to the enemy jungle, which already has good access there.
Yeah,
so.
makes it's a lot harder for Swift Ending to find the safe places to go with the Spectre.
Yeah, that is the big scary thing too. Like they got such an early tier 1, so now it's like, man, Spectre has a very awkward place to move around the map. It's like he doesn't really have a solid place to be farming yet in this game now.
Is that normally the way to go with the talents as well on Spectre, getting the armor over the plus damage?
I've seen people do both.
Yeah?
Yeah, I see mostly people get the damage, but the armor can have its uses versus
I guess.
the lineup.
I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know, is 5 armor really going to make the difference against an Ursa jumping on you? I mean, we'll see. Maybe it does. But seeing as you're going to be primarily focusing on farming, damage does seem normally more tempting, I feel.
Yeah, most of the time we do see that, though.
Yeah.
We do usually see the damage being taken on, like the Spectre, even the Anti-Mage. We do see Aloha grab the damage on the Anti-Mage. Even though you get, 150 health, which is, pretty decent for an Anti-Mage, people still just... You're farming. Your job isn't really to be that. You're going to get health through items.
That's his Battle Fury done. 14 minutes in with the treads. Very good timing for the Anti-Mage. And definitely going to be this period of the game where he will be able to farm a lot quicker than the Spectre. Doubt about that. So yeah, really very little being done by elements to slow down the Anti-Mage in the early stage. We saw, as you said, in the lane, the Eidolons shutting a little bit away from the Anti-Mage in terms of creeps, but it doesn't feel like that at all now at this stage with the position that Aloha dances in. He is in a very good place.
Not only just Aloha, look at this Afterlife. This Nyx Assassin. He's got Blink Dagger. It's 14 minutes in. That's your off-lane Nyx who wasn't really helped at all. He stayed down there alone for the most part until like after laning phase was pretty much done. So he's doing a very good job for himself. Gets the smoke going. They're trying to keep their aggression. He's going to get some vision out. Maybe they do go for that Roche attempt now since he does have a DD on G as well. Afterlife might just go for some vision, but we'll see if they want to go for that. G's going to make the decision right now.
Seeing if he gets some vision here with this rocket. Another whereabouts of Mitch.
Yeah, he just goes in the pit.
Yeah, knowing that indeed the elements are split up. Unlikely to get themselves together.
And we do see Mitch, he has the BKB queued up, so he's prepared for Afterlife to try to, if he wants to get those big like black holes for the team fights, Afterlife can't stop it, but there's still Clockwork. Clockwork can always hook in a good position to stop it.
Yeah, you've got to be careful with how you go for it, but it certainly makes it a lot easier. Yeah. There was a lot of standard magic that would have been used to stop it.
Still Mana Void though, and Clockwork ulti, so it still can be stopped pretty easily by the side of Vega if they're in the proper positioning to do so.
Yeah, I guess he just has to pretty much hold off until the clock's already initiated elsewhere, and he can be sure that he gets the anti-mage in the black hole as well.
Yeah.
Which is certainly possible. You know, if clock hooks in, anti-mage is going to be jumping forward. There's definitely going to be a much bigger window for him to try and get a successful black hole off.
Yeah, and they have so many different forms of like initiation. You know, with the Sand King, the Ember can even kind of be a pseudo initiator. Then the Warlock, they have like counter initiate, and then more initiate on top of that. Like we said, they drafted for a heavy team fight with the Spectre as their backup.
Yeah, I do really like G's build as well. You know, Vlad's just getting Blink Basher. It's ready to fight, ready for the chaos. They'll jump in here on the mid lane. They do get the chaotic offering out. Mitch heading forward towards G, jumping forward the Remnant Burst. Ping Vinsec actually able to pop the Aegis, and this already looking pretty good for them. They've got the black hole and the epicenter straight up onto the bear, and they'll bring him down. As Vega throwing away some massive lives in the middle lane.
They dove very deep for that Warlock.
Great stuff for Elements, and they're going to get silent as well. They've got the vision here as they go straight onto the CM, take down a fourth, and that was Vega fighting with an Aegis. That was a huge throwaway of gold to Elements. I mean, good news for Vega, they didn't have a low hard dance in there cocking up as well. But Elements, they'll be happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, getting the very good black hole positioning. LeBron not even having Blink Dagger there. He's able to get a great epicenter. And even Goji, they didn't bring him down in time. He got the Warlock Golem off, and the fight does get turned. I mean, that's what's going to happen when you dive between the tier 1 and tier 2 versus 1, 2, 3, 4 massive team fight ultimates. Definitely have to be very careful with your positioning.
Yeah, they really can't afford to play that aggressive. Mention Elements have the answers.
Yeah, if they are going to play like that aggressive, they have to be able to catch the two big initiators at least. They have to be able to get the Warlock, kill him before the rock goes down, and then the Clockwork has to get the initiation on the Enigma before the black hole comes out, so the battery assault is ticking before that starts. Then it doesn't let him get the hole off, but yeah, they blow a lot of their moves onto the Warlock, and he still gets his ultimate off. So,
what do you think about the build from Swift as well this game? He just going for the phase into the Manta. We're not seeing any sort of attempt for the Radiance this game early on.
I think just like maybe the Liquid series got to them a bit also, and I think that they look at Vega's lineup. They're like, this is a fighting lineup. Like they don't really have long cooldowns. I want to be able to fight. I want to be able to match that aggression as early as possible. If I go for the Radiance build, I can't get involved at all. And since the laning phase was also going a bit rough for them, he probably made that quick adjustment.
And this time round, Vega will just go for the tier 1 in the middle lane. Looks to open up that bit of the map at the same time. There, a bit of pressure coming out to the tier 2 top from Elements. Round Afterlife there to stop the pressure. Let's have a nice few up as well here, and in terms of money, still looking pretty nice for him. But we've got to give it to Mitch. He is keeping himself on par in that Enigma. Man, the Nyx Assassin in a great place. Still very much the Ember. After that very bad matchup in the mid lane, having to deal with the Ursa, he's still struggling to catch back up ping.
He's got the bots at least. You know, he's on his way to that Maelstrom. He's gonna be able to push out lanes a bit. That's his plan, and that actually could be hard for him as well. You know, he's playing versus Nyx Assassin. Yeah. Nyx is probably one of, if not the best to catch Ember Spirit when he was doing those split pushes.
Definitely.
The Carapace, they find the catch onto Goji.
There will be counterplayed as LeBron jumps in, but now he's stuck in there with them. It looks like they don't have detection though, and in fact, well, this Sandstorm, it is willing them down. They realize they've got a TP straight out of there, and they will. Just before the Burrow Strike comes in. Horn being used here, it looks like they will at least get the CM kill out of it. But yeah, a little awkward there from Vega, jumping forward and then being like, oh, I've not got detection of you. The Cogs and Sandstorm adding up.
Yeah, Afterlife has sentries, or has Dust on himself as the Nyx, but
yeah,
Sayoma's still not carrying any. I think Sayoma should probably pick at least one up on the Clockwork. His job is really just to run around and get kills happening. But he's going for that Midas. He's trying to be greedy.
And the BKB is now complete on Mitch. So we'll see him have an easy time. Of course, in that mid lane fight, we already saw the Black Hole being very useful. Even though just on the one hero, just having that setup post Aegis, so that they've got the catch, and just, you use it after Vega jumps in upon you. More likely to get off a good duration without anything left in the tank from Vega to stop it.
Yeah. I mean, it can be very useful. Like, there's the Clockwork and the Mana Void, but not even just counting those, the BKB can be a very useful like frontline on him. He can just kind of like walk in, pop a BKB, and they can just be like, oh god, we can't really cast any big spells on him. It's pretty much Ursa gets on him and tries to lock him down with Basher. But G also is getting close to that BKB. So that's going to help a lot versus the big team fights that Almond has.
Bottom lane, Ping. Hooking up the XP. Aloha Dance pushing in this bottom lane. As expected, of course, on the anti-mage. Still keeping himself very much ahead where it comes to farm. Manta style, complete 2k gold on top of that. It was a quick battle fury timing. And still, since that point, really hasn't been touched at all by Elements.
Level 18.
He's had all the space on the map he's wanted.
He's feeling very good about himself.
Actually, jump forward it for Ping. See TP's in. Could this be another situation where Vega may have just jumped in a little too far? I think it could be as Afterlife found in the tree line and punished. They've got to hold back. The diving towers is definitely where Vega's giving up a fair bit of golden XP in this game.
He was trying to go for the Blink Carapace and then just instantly bring down the Ember Spirit, but I don't think the Flame Guard was popped. I think he thought that it was, so he tried to go for that kind of effort, but slight little mistake there coming out from Vega, but either way, Aloha just backs up and starts cleaning out the enemy jungle again. That's the good thing though about being so over farmed here on the anti-mage. He's able to deny a lot of the farm for Elements, because Elements they want to be farming on their side of the map still with the Spectre, but having an anti-mage in your jungle just taking all your camps definitely does hurt. And look at the warding coming out from Vega. All four in the deepest actual position that you pretty much can have them.
That is some super deep wards.
Yeah, they really want to be able to watch the movements. They want to watch exactly where the Enigma is, where the Sanking is, so they can set up and take fights on their own accord, because it can be pretty tough. Silent, is he setting up for a solo kill onto Goji? He's going for it.
Yeah, he is with a freezing field. We'll see if the Shadow Word's going to be enough, and it's going to be close. So close. Just enough heals. And again, the turnaround's there. Elements see an opening. I mean, Vega are going for some greedy plays.
Yeah, I was curious. Dude, he was so close. The Rocket was coming in too. It
was close.
The healing word really just saved him. The Shadow Word.
Shadow Word too strong.
He wanted it.
I mean, at the end of the day, Vega can certainly say they are creating space for Aloha Dance. Yeah. And for the whole game, that has really been the story of it.
He's just, he's completely full free farm, level 20 now.
What's he just picked up? He's
BKB full.
Oh, he's got the BKB done as well as the Manta. There you go. He can turn up to these fights and not have to worry one bit.
BKB, pretty good item versus Ember, Spectre, Sanking, Enigma, Warlock. Very good versus all the heroes on the side of Elements. Or item.
We may see Vega hold back for Roshan if they want. Let's back up.
They do have these very deep wards, so they do see all of the movement coming out from Elements. Now D-ward coming out from Goji.
Jumping in. Oh, actually not with the stun. Turning around with the chains. Then on the fatal bonds. Missing out on a potential kill there. G. Come forward again. Trying to hold back this push here with the sleight of fist, but they'll stand their ground, Vega Squadron. Finish off the tier 2 tower. More money into the bank of Anti-Mage. Jump forward with the Burrow Strike. Quick turn around with the Frostbite. A hook shot across from Showman the Slayer. Lays down the cogs. There's the jump in from Mitch, and he actually gets the black hole. He's got two. I don't think they can cancel this. They can't with the BKB out. They'll get the Clockwork kill. They'll find Afterlife again. There's a second pick off for them. Now G jumping in, trying to down, but the Chaotic offering stun, holding G back. He will end up finishing off one of them. Uman's ticking down very low. He'll get the slow onto Gogi, but LeBron, he's there with the Burrow Strike. He holds G back. G, the Mana Void from Aloha Dance. At the end of the day, it is all Vega's fight. But
let's see how much his CM ult did. Yeah, he was on the high ground that whole time using CM ult.
Yeah, that was
4,000 damage. Oh my
ridiculous.
God.
4,000.
3,700 damage coming out from the CM freezing field. And geez, that was pretty cool though, Mitch, with that fresh picked up Blink Dagger with his BKB from before. It was a good black hole. He gets the two big heroes. Yeah. He gets the anti-mage, he gets the Clockwork in it, but G just able to come in there with his fresh BKB as well, able to just rinse down everybody, and Silent with incredibly good positioning on the Crystal Maiden on the high ground with that ultimate, able to do massive amount of damage onto Elements.
Yeah, and Aloha Dance, of course, in at the end, easy Mana Void. Pick up a couple of kills.
He tried to use it a lot in that fight too. He kept canceling like the Enigma. When G was going on the Enigma in the fight too, he was kept like trying to throw him out there, but he was like a little bit scared because he was low. But then afterwards, once they do get that chase down and Aldemar starting to get a bit more healthy, he's able to get that turn.
We can see 18,000 net worth on the Mage.
He's pulling.
He's about 7,000 ahead of the Spectre. Swift Ending has finished off the defusal, so with the amount of defusals, there's still a fair bit of damage he can offer, considering how far he is behind. But overall, it's just still going to be this issue of being able to bring down the anti-mage. Basher done as well. Very much ready for any sort of fight. Aloha Dance.
Aloha's getting items like every 2 minutes right now. Same thing with G. G just finished the BKB and now he has a full Desolator. Both of them are keeping on par. Level 20 on the Ursa, level 22 on Anti-Mage. They're keeping the pace going. You know, like we've been saying a lot of these times. You know, you recognize the cooldowns of the ultimates. Black Hole is still down. They're able to try to go for these objectives and just get more map control. And with the Aegis, of course, too. That, you know, they just finished up the Roche, so they can be a bit more aggressive. Afterlife still on the prowl. Looking for any type of opportunities. These deep wards are also paying massive dividends for Vega. They're always knowing exactly where Elements is setting up on the map.
Certainly making these fights a little easier for Vega, but kills 14 for 14.
Do you see this? Oh my god, they're jumping into the base, going for Mitch, but Mitch, catches eyes of them really quickly.
Maybe seeing if he can catch anything in return. He's looking for Afterlife, and well, they're going to horn in on this one. And Afterlife, they got detection.
Oh, nice.
If they didn't get that kill, that would have been pretty painful, committing horn for it. But indeed, the AoE of the Remnant Burst, enough to bring down the Nyx. See if they can move on for more. There are still members of Vega Squadron in the neighborhood, and Silent gets caught out by a Burrow Strike. The Malefist, again though, detection isn't there. Well, they need more than that, because he's the one to jump in and shred the Enigma immediately. The BKB not doing anything in terms of keeping that Enigma alive. They'll take down LeBron as well, and they're not done yet. Aloha Dance looking for the Warlock. G's going to be there as well, jumping in with a slow. Double kill for the Ursa as Vega Squadron pick up a third. Punish Elements very heavily for trying to chase Vega Squadron and leave their base and look for further kind of follow-on kills.
Silent being so like over-farmed as this Crystal Maiden, picking up those kills, you know, having a Glimmer Cape with his drums, and he also takes the 250 health talent because he's already level 15. Those like 3 things literally just saved him there and caused that entire fight to happen for Vega. So Silent there, almost looking like he might be out of position, but his buddies were there in the vicinity to save him. So only losing Afterlife for 3 heroes. Very good trade coming up from Vega.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Silent's playing super aggressive this game, and it's working.
They is. Let's see him. As you mentioned, some really, really big freezing fields amidst the team fights.
Now he's got a medallion too. He's on his way to his Solar Crest. This CM is huge. He's almost level 25 before 30 minutes. That's a good point. Nice little stat there. Only 3 players have ever gotten to 25 before 30 minutes. Of 7.05.
I don't think he's going to make it. I mean, a minute to do 75% of the final level.
And now if he gets Black Hole.
Yeah, okay. We'll get saved. If he could turn and fight, though, then so he will certainly make it. But it looks like Sherma will just be the sacrificial lamb here.
That is his job this game.
Absolutely. Saving the anti-mage is worth it. Yeah, 1 minute to get...
Let's keep eyes on him. Let's see if he's going to get it.
I don't think
Maybe he knows, too. He's got 50... I think he's going to get it.
It's going to be close.
It's going to be very close. If he makes his way down toward the secondary side of the camps
if he goes and clears the other Ancients,
he's going to get it.
Then
I think he's going to get it. Send those illusions mid. Keep it going. Come on, Aloha.
He's got to get those Ancients. It's all about the Ancients here.
Come on, be faster.
He's going to do... I mean, actually, are the Ancients going to be enough? I think he's going to be very close.
It's going to be... I don't think he's going to get enough. It's going to be just short of it, I think.
The Ancients are going to be just short. Yeah, it's not quite enough here.
Oh, he's got 20 seconds.
20 seconds. Are there any camps over here?
He's got 1, 2 camps.
These two, I don't think they'll do it.
I don't think they'll do it either.
They won't do it. He needs...
Maybe the lane?
The lane creeps will certainly help.
The Eidolons, maybe?
Yeah.
All right, there's a fight going on top. I'm going to take a look at that.
Okay, let's do that instead. Right, top lane. Silent, Glimmer caked up. Ping Vinsec with a jump in. G coming in with the response. Goes for the Sand King. Freezing field again from Silent. Clearing out the illusions, but still, Swift Ending's going to jump forward. Mitch coming in, looking for the potential to land some sort of ultimate, but no, he hasn't actually got it. Swift Ending only just being saved. They will hold back G. They bring him down. Afterlife, underground. Again, looks like a lack of vision, meaning EPG will have to back away. Bottom lane, Aloha Dance pushing in. He did hit 25. We'll have to.
He got it. He did get it. It was at like 29:51. I was looking at the clock when I saw the talent being chosen. But yeah, Afterlife also having a full Aghanims finished up after all the space being given. Aloha just going in and gets Mitch.
Yeah, the BKB no chill play straight down the throat of Enigma, cutting him to pieces. Can they kill him? That's the question. The BKB on cooldown. Ilmanta get out again. Yes, Sherma with the save. Afterlife's just going to jump in on this one with the Spike Carapace, trying to bury himself. It's not going to keep him alive. Aloha Dance, though, ready to turn back in as jumps up to the high ground, looking for a bash. Doesn't actually get it there. Still going to look to play around with the side of Elements. They've got a shrine, though.
So tanky right now, though.
Yeah, he'll jump out. So some time to reset. Squadron looking for the chase, using the defusal charges.
It's almost like, Brian, just let me be. Let me die for you.
Again, the sacrifice at the clock. How many times has poor Vega fallen down? 9 times.
Poor Seoma, 9 deaths for the good cause.
Absolutely. I mean, earlier on, maybe not so much for the good cause, but now, yeah, now the deaths are warranted.
Yeah.
But still, again, you know, they're getting the gold elements. They're definitely having the best game they've had so far today. But it's still questionable whether it's going to be good enough, because Aloha Dance's anti-mage continues to just outscale this Spectre by a fair few miles here, really. A 10k gold difference.
We did state our concern, though, you know, about the anti-mage. Yeah. The anti-mage was definitely going to be a problem this game, and Vega's done a really good job of creating space for him, as you keep mentioning. You know, they're forcing fights kind of away from him. Afterlife keeps running around. G as well, just kind of forcing the issue and pressing it super hard. While Aloha literally is just... He's kind of just been jungling the majority of this game, but he does have 5 kills as well, having that good laning start, and then, of course, picking up a couple mana void kills.
Just the stats that he's had, just goes to show how good of a game he's having. 503 on the KDA. So what, about 430 CS, I believe, coming up at 32 minutes in, so easily beating the 10 CS a minute at this stage. And I mean, what's the GPM actually? Can you check his GPM? I bet his GPM is pretty impressive.
I don't remember what hockey
top left, it should be on the drop now. Yeah, it's nearly 800 GPM. The anti-mage.
Afterlife, finding Swift Ending, just burning out all his mana. Oh, just off the mark of that. But Swift Ending's out of mana.
They may still get it. Now, see LeBron coming in with a save with a 3-man burrow strike. Mitch coming forward. The black hole gets off 2 here. They've got no way to cancel it again through the BKB. And that will bring the Nyx Assassin down. G post the BKB, trying to fight back. The chaotic offering dropped onto Silent. They'll bring him and G down as well. Meanwhile, Aloha Dance is looking for the rat. Sanking. The Ember Spirit going to be the one to be focused as Ping Vincent comes in with the TP out of mana. Blown up by the mana void. Lost 2. Can they actually kill this anti-mage without the black hole? Very unlikely. He is. He's just going to turn towards LeBron. Pop the Sandstorm. See how aggressive Aloha Dance wants to be. He really does not care about these 3 heroes.
They have very little straight physical damage on the side of Elements. Even when the Ember and Spectre are up, it's better, of course. You know, Spectre did go for that like very bright clicky build with the Manta Diffusal Eagle into Butterfly. But yeah, he's so big at this point, level 25 and just maxed out.
And just dive in tier 4s, or at least attempting. There will be a burrow strike into the epicenter, but he pops the BKB. Hook shot, going to be off the mark, but again, Aloha Dance could easily just blink his way back out to safety. And it really is just this anti-mage that the pick, the play has just stopped Elements really getting anything great out of what they've done, even though they themselves are making good moves. We're seeing Mitch get some really good black holes off. But it's just never when Aloha Dance is in the neighborhood, because he's always somewhere else getting twice as much work done than the Spectre can.
Yeah, it's every single time he sees like Seoma not in position or anti-mage not in position, he just goes for those like 1 or 2 man black holes, which is good. They're just very reliant on that for the lockdown. Continuing the aggression. Roche just respawns, so we'll probably see them scout that one out very soon, and they do. The rocket comes through. LeBron now knows as well. Elements is aware of this one. All their ultimates will be coming back up shortly. 40 seconds for Epi, about 20 seconds for Enigma's ultimate as well.
And Butterfly is complete for Swiftman, so that evasion certainly going to help out.
Yeah. Aloha still has slots to be able to switch it up. You know, he went for the Moon Shard in his inventory. He didn't go for the Butterfly this game because there's no natural... He doesn't really need it because, like we said, there's no natural right-clickers on the side of Elements. They all just kind of do their different kind of damage. So right away, he queues up the MKB when he sees the Butterfly. He eats the Moon Shard, grabs the Aegis. They're going to now make their go for the high ground. They got eyes on LeBron. Are they going to be able to go for a catch onto him here? The hook.
And tries to predict where he's going to blink to. Doesn't quite get the angle. Oh yeah, this push is going to be very hard to stop. With that Aegis, very little that Vega need to really sit back and wait for now. They have what it takes in terms of damage output and survivability to break the high ground. Yeah, now with the Aether Lens 2 on the Nyx, he can just like be perched up behind them inside that burrow while they go for that siege. Yeah, for Elements now, one whiffed ultimate could be the potential for Vega to win the game. They need to land these ults.
Afterlife actually he's putting himself in a super aggressive spot.
They'll actually get the first stun onto Aloha Dance. They brought him down to half health. BKB coming out from him, but Mitch also did pop his own BKB. And a bit of a panic as the anti-mage jumped upon him. G trying to push mid. They'll come in with the 2-man burrow strike. Haunt being popped as well now. G with the BKB, but the 3-man chaotic offering is there. G chases down the Sand King, finishes him off again. Aloha Dance here, focusing Mitch, really trying to make it impossible for Mitch to get his job done here. They will keep Mitch alive. There's Ping, holds back the anti-mage with the chains, back towards the middle. Swift being focused, he's down for 80 seconds, does not have the gold for buyback. So they're without their Spectre. And teammates getting very low. They are going to be able to pop the Aegis on this defense. They do still have the Epicenter and the Black Hole.
He's got 5 seconds on BKB for Mitch.
Let's see what they could do. He's holding on. He wants to wait. He wants to play it safely. The Golem's still up. Taken down now by Aloha Dance. He can sphere pop, but yeah, he's ready. He has that BKB. He has that Black Hole. We'll see how good Vega get. Jump in onto Gogi. Burrow Strike to hold back the Ursa. They'll save the Warlock. The Rax are down. He'll jump in with the Black Hole, but it's only onto one. And the anti-mage, he's just not taking enough damage for Elements to be able to be successful with that play. As he's just too big. He's too fat, Aloha Dance. As they'll lose the middle racks. Elements starting to fall to the end of this game now, as they're borderline being mega creeped by Vega Squadron. And GG is indeed called, but they certainly gave a better fight against Vega than they were able to against Liquid. But there was the little problem at the anti-mage this game.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the last big anti-mage in hindsight, like we did look at it and we were like, okay, they're trying to match greed with greed, but it actually was such a good pick versus what Vega had, or versus what Elements had. Elements was pretty much all magic damage, so him being able to just do his own thing, and then even toward later stages of the game, even you see there, of course, all of them weren't up, and they did get a solo Black on him, and they didn't have Spectre for their big damage on him, but he didn't even drop like half HP here. He just kind of stood there.
What was the stats on Aloha? It's got to be flashy at the end.
Aloha definitely